Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. We have already discussed introduction, pathogenesis, articular manifestations, deformities and extra-articular manifestations of rheumatoid arthritis. Now let us move on to management part of rheumatoid arthritis. Here we'll be dealing with the investigations part, criteria and criteria, and we'll also discuss about the treatment part, right? So let's start with it. So in investigations, we will do blood investigations, we will do X-ray, and we'll also do synovial fluid analysis. Okay. So in blood investigations, we investigate for rheumatoid factor, and we'll check for anti-CCP antibodies. They are anti-cyclic cetylated protein antibodies. Okay. Uh, we go for CBC. We might find anemia of chronic disease. Okay, we have already learned that um, these interleukins will cause the elevation of the hepcidin, which will cause decrease in the serum iron level, which will lead to anemia. That was pathogenesis behind the anemia in chronic disease. So there will be anemia, and when you check for WBC count, there may be elevation or there will be there may be normal. If there could be neutropenia when it is associated with Felty syndrome. We know Felty syndrome is splenomegaly, rheumatoid arthritis, and along with neutropenia, right? So there may be elevation of ESR, CRP, and we'll also check for anti-nuclear antibodies. Okay, so these are the blood investigations which we do in rheumatoid arthritis. When we check in the radiographs, these affected joints, there will be an abnormal alignment. You can just remember these findings as A, B, C, D, E, and S. Okay, so there might be an abnormal alignment. And B for bones, there will be juxta-articular osteoporosis. And when you check for the C cartilages, there may be symmetric joint space loss, and there will be deformities. We saw the deformities earlier. Okay, so there will be deformities with symmetrical distribution. Okay, there will be erosions, and there will be soft tissue swellings. So these are all the findings which we will find in the x-rays of the affected joint. Okay, there will be an abnormal alignment, juxta-articular osteoporosis, symmetric joint space loss, deformities, erosions, soft tissue swellings. Okay, and we might also send for synovial fluid analysis to differentiate this from crystal arthropathy and gouty arthritis. Okay, so we just rule out those conditions you through this synovial fluid analysis. Okay, so these are the investigations which we do: blood investigations, X-rays of the affected joint, and synovial fluid analysis. Okay, now let us move on to ULR and ACR criteria. So this is an important criteria. So in this criteria, we take the joints the joints that are affected, and the serology and duration of the symptoms and acute phase reactants into consideration. Okay, so let us see one by one. According to the involvement of joint, the points are awarded. Okay, so rheumatoid is mostly concerned with the small joints, right? So when there is a large joints are affected, so the point is 0. Okay, when there are 2 to 10 large joints, it's somewhat significant. Okay, so we award point 1. There is involvement of 1 to 3 small joints, the point is 2. So if there is involvement of 4 to 10 joints, the points that are awarded are 3. If there are 10 there are involvement of 10 joints, okay, they can be large, small. Okay, but the only condition is that the one at least one joint that is affected in the whole 10 joints should be a small joint. Okay, at least one small joint should be involved in the whole 10 joints. Okay, so the points awarded for that are 5. Okay, there is no 4 in the joints. Okay, there's no 4 in the joints, that's it. So you can write 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5. So these are the joints involvement. And in the serology part, we check for rheumatoid factor and anti-citrulated protein antibody, right? So if both rheumatoid factor and ACPA are negative, the points awarded are 0. If rheumatoid factors and ACPA are low positive, the points awarded are 2. If they're high positive, anyone is high positive, the points awarded are 3. Okay, so duration of the symptoms, uh, we know that it is a chronic inflammatory arthritis, right? So therefore long duration. According to that, if the symptoms last less than 6 weeks, so that is not much significant, right? So we avoid point 0. Okay, if they are persistent over greater than over 6 weeks, more than 6 weeks, we avoid we avoid 1 point. Okay, so next comes acute phase reactant. If the both CRP and ESR, which are acute phase reactants, are normal, the point is 0. If either one either one CRP or ESR are abnormal, or that means they are elevated, the point awarded is 1. Okay, so this is uvular and ACR criteria. Okay, so next comes the management part. Here, uh, when there is a new diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, we start with methotrexate 15 mg weekly and prednisolone. So here the prednisolone is given as bridge therapy. Okay, so there is something called bridge therapy. uh, so these methotrexate takes at least 2 weeks to come into action. So till then, this prednisolone, the glucocorticoid, it will uh, it will decrease the symptoms. Okay, it will keep the symptoms in check. After 2 weeks, we gradually decrease the dose and reduce it. Okay, then the methotrexate can come into action and take by. Okay, so this prednisolone is just like a it's like bridging the known rheumatoid arthritis case till the methotrexate comes into an action. Okay, so that's why it is known as bridge therapy. Okay, so after 2 weeks, we'll reduce the dose, we'll taper the dose, and we'll stop giving the steroids. Okay, so methotrexate will be continued. Um so after few days, we will go for there's something called there's something called there's something called disease activity score. Okay, so there's something called disease activating score. This disease When the disease activating score is less than 3.2, we can continue the same treatment. So the disease activity is low. Okay, there's the damage that is occurring is low. So that means the treatment which we are giving is right. Okay, when the disease activity score is less than 3.2, we can continue the methotrexate alone. Okay, but when this disease activating score is greater than or equal to 3.2, we should change the treatment. Okay, along with methotrexate, we have to add sulfasalazine and hydrochloroquine. Okay, we should add sulfasalazine and hydrochloroquine. Okay, so after few days, then we have to go for another check of disease activating score. Okay, we should go for another check of disease activating score. If the disease activating score after adding sulfasalazine and hydrochlorine is less than 3.2, that is then it means that the treatment is good. So we can continue methotrexate, sulfasalazine and hydrochlorine. Okay, but if the disease activating score is not less than 3.2 and is more than 3.2, we categorize the patient according to their disease activity score. Okay, if the disease activity score is in between 3.2 to 5.1, that comes under one category. If the disease activating score is greater than 5.1, they come in other category. Okay, now let us just check for some time in this category of 3.2 to 5.1. When the patient falls under disease activity score 3.2 to 5.1, we should consider giving methotrexate subcutaneously. Okay, or we could go for another conventional DMARD. Okay, we could choose some another conventional DMARD. Okay, so after the treatment for some duration, we'll again go for disease activity score. Okay, when we check for disease activity score, if it is less than 3.2, it means our therapy is working. Okay, we could continue the same therapy of giving subcutaneous methotrexate or different DMARD. Okay, if even after addition of the subcutaneous methotrexate, the disease activity score is greater than 3.2, which is at the bad side, we will will go for some biological DMARD. Okay, we'll go for some biological DMARD. Okay, uh, and we have already categorized the disease activity score to 3.2 to 5.1 in one category and more than 5.1 in other category. So we have completed 3.2 to 5.1. Now let us see for disease activity score greater than 5.1. Okay, so this disease activity score, when it is more than 5.1, we have to directly add the biological or TS DMARD. We shouldn't consider about the subcutaneous methotrexate, so it is on the severe side, so we could directly opt for biological or TS DMARD. Okay, after using this biological DMARD, if uh, the disease activity score is less than 3.2, that means our therapy is working. We can continue the same therapy, we could continue the biological DMARD. Okay, but if the disease activity score is still greater than 3.2, we should consider changing to other biological DMARD. Okay, so this is how our management works. It's just like we give methotrexate with prednisolone. Prednisolone act as a bridge therapy and will further taper down after 2 weeks. Okay, and we'll check for disease activity score. We check for disease activity score over here. If it is less than 3.2, we continue to give methotrexate. If it is more than 3.2, we add sulfasalazine and hydrochlorine and check for DAS again. If the DAS is 3.2, our therapy is working, we can continue methotrexate, sulfasalazine and hydrochlorine. But if the DSA is not 3.2, it's greater than 3.2, we'll consider them into two classification. DAS under 3.2 to 5.1 as one category, DAS greater than 5.1 in another category. If they fall under 3.2 to 5.1, we consider giving methotrexate subcutaneously, or we could choose a different uh, conventional DMARD. Okay, after that, after giving subcutaneous methotrexate or other conventional DMARD, we will check for disease activity score. If the disease activity score is less than 3.2, that means our therapy is good, we could continue the subcutaneous methotrexate. If the disease activity score is greater than 3.2, we have to go for biological DMARD. This is one class, and we other class was greater than 5, DAS greater than 5.1. In the 5.1, we'll directly choose for addition of one biological DMARD. After addition of the biological or TS DMARD, we'll go for disease activity score. Okay, disease activity score. If the disease activity score is less than 3.2, we'll continue the therapy, which means our therapy is good, so we could continue the therapy. But if even after adding the biological DMARD, the disease activity score is greater than 3.2, we should consider changing into biological DMARDs. Okay, these are the conventional DMARDs and the biological agents. Okay, so please do check these out. Okay, we have our notes in our Instagram channel. Okay, please check it from there, and please do like,